Insults are never fun, but they are especially not fun when they are directed at you. No matter how thick-skinned you may be, there are some things that will just make your blood boil. The problem is, when someone insults you, they are usually trying to get a rise out of you. They want to see you get angry, flustered, or upset, and if you let them, they will have won. So what do you do when someone tries to bring you down? Well, if you're a Sigma male, you have a few options. Here are 8 things a Sigma male will do when insulted. 1. They ignore the insult and act like it never happened. This is probably the most effective way to deal with an insult. But that's easier said than done, especially when the person insulting you is someone you care about. Sigma males know that the best way to deal with someone who is trying to get a rise out of them is to simply ignore it. By not giving the insult the attention it deserves, you take away its power. If you can just brush it off and act like it didn't bother you, the person who insulted you has failed. They wanted to get a reaction out of you, but you didn't give them one. This method can be difficult, especially if the insult hits a nerve. But it's important to remember that the person who insulted you is not worth your time or energy. They are trying to bring you down, but you're not going to let them. 2. They calmly and logically explain why the insult is wrong. A Sigma male uses this as an opportunity to educate. By calmly and logically explaining why the insult is wrong, they are able to diffuse the situation and hopefully change the other person's mind. This usually happens when the insult is based on a misunderstanding or misinformation. This method is great because it shows that you're not going to stoop to their level, you're better than that. When someone says something that is clearly not true, you can calmly and logically explain why they are wrong. This usually requires a level-headed approach and some self-control, but it's often the best way to deal with an insult. It's important to remember that you can't change everyone's mind. But, by explaining the facts, you might be able to change the other person's opinion. And even if you can't, you'll know that you did your best. 3. They will use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Sigma males take everything as an opportunity to learn and grow, including insults. Instead of getting defensive or angry, they use the insult as a chance to reflect on themselves. They might think about why the person said what they said and if there's any truth to it. This can be a difficult process, but it's often worth it. By taking the time to reflect on an insult, you might be able to learn something about yourself. Maybe the person was right about something, or maybe you need to work on something. Either way, it's an opportunity for growth, and that's always a good thing. No one likes to be insulted, but if it happens, it's important to react in a way that is beneficial for you. Sigma males never waste an opportunity for growth, and that's one of the things that makes them so successful. 4. They laugh it off and make a joke out of the situation. This is another great way to deal with an insult. When a Sigma male is insulted, they try not to get angry or upset. Instead, they see the humor in the situation and laugh it off. This method diffuses the tension and shows the person who insulted you that their words didn't affect you. It also shows that you're not going to take their bait. While this method may not work in every situation, it's often the best way to deal with an insult. It shows that you're not going to let someone else control your emotions. Of course, there are times when it's best to just walk away from an insult, but laughing it off is often the way to go. 5. They don't let the insult define them. An insult is only powerful if you let it be. Sigma males know that an insult is not who they are, it's just a reflection of the person who gave it. They don't let the insult define them or change how they see themselves. This is easier said than done, but it's important to remember that an insult is just someone else's opinion. It doesn't have to change the way you see yourself. Sigma males know that they are more than the sum of their parts, they don't let an insult change that. Keep in mind that an insult is not about you, it's about the person insulting you. When someone insults you, they are usually trying to say something about themselves. They are trying to make themselves feel better by bringing you down. It's important not to take the insult personally. It's not about you, it's about them. Sigma males know that an insult is a reflection of the person who is giving it, not the person who is receiving it. 6. They use the insult as motivation to prove the person wrong. One of the best ways to deal with an insult is to use it as motivation. When someone tells you that you can't do something, it can be the perfect incentive to prove them wrong. Sigma males know that an insult is often just a challenge in disguise, and they are always up for a challenge. When someone tells them that they are not good enough, they use it as motivation to prove them wrong. Sure, this is not always the best way to deal with an insult, but it can be a great way to turn a negative into a positive. Doing this shows the person who insulted you that their words only make you stronger. 7. They will take action to make sure it doesn't happen again. A Sigma male knows that an insult is often a sign of disrespect, and they will cut them out of his life altogether. This might seem like a drastic measure, but it's often the best way to deal with someone who is constantly disrespecting you. If someone is constantly insulting you, they are likely not worth your time and energy. Sigma males will take action to make sure it doesn't happen again. Setting boundaries is essential in any relationship. And if someone can't respect your boundaries, then it's time to cut them out of your life. You have a right to be respected, and you don't have to put up with someone who doesn't respect you. If you've tried other methods and nothing has worked, then it might be time to take action. Sure, it's not always the best option, but it's often necessary. 8. They will let them know how they feel. Sometimes the best way to deal with an insult is just to let the person know how you feel. This doesn't mean that you have to get emotional or angry. Instead, you can simply state your feelings in a calm and collected manner. Of course, this method is not always the best, but it can be effective. When a Sigma male feels disrespected, they will let the person know. They might not do it in an aggressive or confrontational manner, but they will make it clear that their boundaries have been crossed. This method is usually only effective when the person who gave the insult is someone you know and trust. It's important to remember that you have a right to feel how you feel. And if someone has crossed your boundaries, you have a right to let them know. You'll know if this is the best method for the situation by using your best judgment.